Yo, it's been a little while since I've done one of these lyric breakdowns, but for my new single, Measure Up, I feel like it's the kind of song that I'd like to break down. So if you're interested, I'm gonna go line by line and talk about my new single, Measure Up. Here we go, lyric breakdown.
Don't you feel disposable? Without a boat to pull, their table aged oak, your table foldable.
I like starting off the song with that question. Both verses start off with a question, which I feel is really engaging. Like, don't you feel disposable without a boat to pull? Like, just the wealth difference. And then a couple years ago, my patio umbrella fell on my table and shattered the glass everywhere. And ever since, we've been using one of those Rubbermaid foldable tables as a patio table, and pretty cheap, and it looks kind of funny, but it inspired me for that line.
Hold the phone, your favorite team on by Vodafone. Pepsi ad, soda shown, favorite scene of Home Alone, it's overblown.
That's about how you can get lost as a sports fan and like really believe in the heart of sports, and then realize how much of a capitalist thing it is and how it's just big business. You see all that logos all over the jerseys, and then also a movie like Home Alone, which we hold so near and dear to our heart and tie in with our traditions. And there's all these crazy product placements for a company like Pepsi. So that line is kind of just about the whole facade of advertising and the human experience of cheering for a sports team or loving a movie.
We bark loud, they might throw a bone.
That's kind of about like when people rise up and protest and try and be like, this is not okay, we need to raise the minimum wage. We need some sort of help for these small businesses that are suffering during COVID. And then go, okay, here you go, here's a couple $1,000.
We spend it all on booze and drugs, credit won't let us own a home. Still,
that's kind of a controversial lyric because some people might be like, well, you're an idiot for having bad credit and that's your fault. It's kind of just about how when you're stuck and you feel like there's nothing you can really do to improve on your future, it's a lot easier to just be apathetic, spend your money on escaping your reality, because what else are you going to do with your money? You get a tax return, you're like, I'm going to go drink it away, smoke it away. And just about like how hard it is to buy a house for our generation, and just kind of the things that have led us to that point, and how hard it is to actually like have something in your name that can kind of like help prove your worth, which is what the whole song is about.
Student loans, they sell hope with no proven goal, and when we finally take a shot, they go ahead and move the polls.
That might be my favorite line in this whole thing, but it's just something where like you're sold this dream of, okay, I just have to go to school, spend money, study hard, and then afterwards, once I get out, you know, it's smooth sailing. And that's definitely not the case. And a lot of people are paying off their student loans to the day they die. They're getting it seized from their Social Security pension and stuff like that. So move the polls, you know, moving the soccer posts and being like, oh, now it's only this small, and hopefully you can fit through this. Hopefully you can still accomplish this. Kind of like a double entendre with how they've kind of been messing around with the polling stations for votes in America. Move the polls could be used a couple different ways. So yeah, that's probably my favorite line on this whole thing.
No cologne, I smell of gas in the open road. Fake smile, broken bone, real ones know the tone.
That's a reference to the t-shirt that a lot of you might have, or the sweater with the skull, with the fake smile and a broken thumb. That's kind of become like a little bit of a mascot for how I feel lately. So I'm stoked that reference made it into the song.
Now you know how you fall apart is how you grow, and every loss you ever took can teach you something valuable.
That seems to be a favorite lyric for a lot of you. It's really simple, but I guess in the delivery really hammers it home, and it's kind of a basic thought that a lot of people have said, but it does definitely ring true.
Malleable, no, we don't bend for the valley folk. I got all the ebony right here on my patio, and they don't think it's worth that much when we don't hold value in gold.
I've been watching a lot of documentaries on Charles Manson, and just like the valley folk to me is picket fence lifestyle, and you know, we're not going to try and live up to that standard. We're going to be who we are. And the simplicity of being out on a patio and feeling content, like I have all I need right here. And it's like, okay, you don't think that I'm worth much? Well, I don't really think that I don't care about your Audi.
They might think it's not worth that much. They don't know how we measure up. I don't know the place I call home. Still free, this life's all my own.
telling yourself that even if you don't line up with society's expectations of what it means to be successful, that you don't adhere to those rules anyways, and you measure yourself differently. You're measuring yourself by quality of relationships and time spent here and how you treat people. And so it's like, okay, cool. You might think that I'm not worth much, but I don't really think that the system is worth much. It's not a common theme to talk about renting a home and not being able to get approved for a mortgage, but it's a common thing. And so it's kind of just something where it's like, being so vulnerable and so honest so that like hopefully other people can hear that and be like, word, I 100% feel this, but I'm still free. You can't own me. The bank can't own me. Like, these creditors can't own me. I'm lucky to be alive. And so that's kind of just the sentiment there. It's like we're making daily steps to improve things.
I bite my tongue in the street and then I scream in my sleep. All these opinions I keep, the only thing I can keep.
I bite my tongue in the street and then I scream in my sleep. That's about walking around anxiously, nervously, and just holding it in, trying to just get through the day, comply, and then you bottle it up so much that when you go to bed, the demons come out, you start screaming in your sleep, night sweats.
I bite my tongue in the street and then I scream in my sleep. All these opinions I keep.